All right, let's go ahead and break it down. Karl Anthony Towns out 46 weeks with an injury. I thought it could have been more serious. A non-contact injury usually is an Achilles or an ACL. Doesn't look like it was one of those. It's going to be out till about January. Let's break down what it means for the Wolves short term and long term. Short term, I think this actually might be a good thing. Slow-mo is going to come into the starting lineup. Now, you might say, hey, Karl Anthony Towns is a great player, but they've struggled with spacing, and that might not make sense because Karl Anthony Towns is a great shooter, self-proclaimed best shooting big man of all time, but he's not really a space-the-floor type big. He wants to get the ball. He wants to post. He's not the greatest passer out the post, and the spacing has just been clogged. You've heard Ant-Man said that he can't really attack the rim like he wants to because there's so many people in the paint. So you're going to replace someone like that with a slow-mo who is shooting at threes at a 40% clip, is a guy that will space. If he does attack, he's attacking off the dribble and he's spraying passes. So I think it actually might help them offensively, and I think it's definitely going to help them defensively. Cat struggled guarding fours, small ball fours. So the actual team is more defined. In the long term, I think they definitely have to figure it out. This Gobert trade has just been a disaster. From a standpoint of personnel, they traded a lot of players to get him. The bench has been very thin. So, while I'm expressing optimism, you do have to be concerned about how thin this is going to make their bench. In addition to that, I think more importantly than anything, what the issues are is just that there's unhappiness in the team. People's roles are not set. Gobert, for whatever reason, seems to be a guy that is not a culture setter. So I think that in the short term, this might actually be a good thing because this fully relinquishes any power struggle they may have had with offense, who's going to lead the offense. It's now Ant-Man's team for the foreseeable future. If they do end up going on a roll with this team, it sounds hyperbolic and people have mentioned it before, but maybe it might be time to look at trading Cat. Now, you might say, hey, that's a step too far. But again, this trade for Gobert has really decimated their depth, decimated any sense of camaraderie that they had on this team. You had Pat Beverly. You had the other kid that they traded to Utah. His name escapes me right now, the long wing, but who was one of Ant-Man's best friends on the team. So you lose all these players, you lose the culture, you lose the depth. It might just be time for a reset because they don't have any picks going forward to fix this. There's no other trade for them to make. And Ant-Man is someone who I could see potentially is going to happen eventually. Say, you know what, I'm not signing my extension. I'm going to hit free agency, right? Because this is the team for the foreseeable future. They traded all their depth. They traded all their picks. This is the team. So in the short term, this might be a blessing in disguise because it can really let Ant-Man blossom. They can really play a 4-out with Gobert in the middle, running pick and roll, throwing them lobs. They can really try to become a better defensive team now. And then in the long term, if all those things work, then maybe you can think about, hey, maybe we trade Cat for pieces that fit better around Ant-Man because he's the future and he has expressed unhappiness. And if things keep going the way that they're going, I could see him being the first young player to say, you know what, I'm not taking this rookie max extension from Minnesota because I don't want to be here. I'm going to look elsewhere. All right, let me know what you think. The game is the game. Go.